Friends, hello, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. So we're getting the content out about the latest happenings of the marketplace. Lots of prices going up right now. Well, I apologize for not getting any videos out sooner. It's just such a busy week. Hopefully, and I don't like rushing. I don't like rushing because I feel like when you rush, that's when you miss things, you skip over things, and things get taken out of context. So I try to do as much in depth and as thoroughly as possible and explaining things to help you guys make coins, make stubs. And real quickly, the roster update came out, and what we seen was prices skyrocket across the board. I mean, we seen Shohei was going. Well, that's not a Shohei. We seen Shohei going for 600K. We seen Aaron Judge jump all the way up to. I mean, I think he's about where he's at now, right? Yeah, about 340. Fernando Tatis, the big jump because, well, when you're a San Diego player, you get a little bit extra boost in the world. Apparently the best player in the world all of a sudden. Bobby Witt, it's not what we're here for. We talked about it else. Bobby Witt stayed about 225. He's 230. I think he went up a little bit as well. Jose Ramirez, I know Juan Soto jumped about 40K. We're starting to see them trickle down a little bit here, and trying to put some clarity to all this. You see some guys, people have more stubs because it's like, hey, when these guys go gold and they had long-term investments, I've seen people with 200, 300, Pete Crow Armstrongs, for example. It's like, well, if you bought them all for 1,200, you just made, 400K. And a lot of people do that. And the first thing they do is they jump for the higher tier, the higher ticket items because they're so much harder to pull. So when you see the prices go up with that, I think we're also seeing it kind of go up because there was the patch, the news, the update of how they was removing sell orders, buy orders, prior to the release. And I think that was something, if I had to guess, I don't think they clarified. They might have. It was something they did because in years past, you would be able to have buy orders below the quick sell if people loaded them up. And not be surprised at all if that was the case. But the important thing, the problem with that is when you remove everybody's sell order, you have to wait for those people to get back on the game to relist those players to kind of rebalance out the marketplace compared to there's always kind of those buyers out there paying attention to the game right now. Meanwhile, sellers, for the most part, maybe trying to sell the card, but they're not actively, if they put an order up and it was up for, 3 days, they're not trying to actively buy it. Whereas, buyers typically are, when they put that buy order up, they want to buy it right now. They're really waiting for the next day. So I think that kind of affected the influx there. And could we see some of these guys go up a little bit? I mean, it's possible. It is very possible. One thing I will remind everybody about diamonds is they are constantly being released, as little as it is. And once you collect them, you collect them. There's no need to have two. Since they're constantly being released every single day, pack after pack, every single pack, typically you will see them depreciate. Do I think 600K for Shohei was ridiculous? You just sold there? Absolutely. 550 is still kind of expensive. We historically don't see live series go that expensive. It's 400K. The reason we are seeing it a little bit more this year is because we're in inning 3. We're in inning 3, and there still isn't too many cards that can compete with some of these guys. But we're getting to inning 3. We're starting to see the 91s. We're starting to see the 92s. We're starting to see the 93s. The more and more good players we get, see what we can find. Jordan Alvarez, prime example. A 92 Jordan Alvarez, a diamond silver. We're starting to see guys compete. The more and more guys we get like this, the less and less people feel inclined to have to use the diamond players to play. And then they might say, well, I'll just sell the diamond players. I'll buy some of these other good players. And then when I have the stubs, I'll go get the Beltron if that's what they're wanting to do. But a lot of people look and say, I'm never going to have the stubs to that Beltron. Right now, I'm buying Aaron Judge. And, well, you might be buying him for a while. But right now, I'm buying Aaron Judge because look at them stats. A better example might be Juan Soto. A gold hitter, silver defense. He's got the plus 11. You get the super boost. That's great. But eventually we're going to start seeing the 92s, the 93s with much better stats than that. And people are going to start to kind of get away from that. If you got him, you got him. If you got him, locked in, you got him locked in. I'm locked in, you can't sell them anyway. I think you start to see people kind of sway away from that. Eventually the prices, to me, I think they're too overpriced. Right now, you look at this, I just wouldn't touch it. If you can flip them, flip them. And that is the cool thing about this. We're starting to see some flipping prices. I mean, Ronald Acuna prime example. I mean, he's 310102 by 36. And that's 5K spread. We're starting to see the spreads open up. And that's something to definitely take advantage of. You see a 5K spread like that with Fernando or Ronald Acuna, jump all over that, flip it as much as you can. Scuba was my guy there for a while. He's kind of tight right now, 40 by 42. There for a while though, he was always about a 1-2K spread. Right now it looks like Acuna's been that guy. He's been that guy all day. As far as guys are looking to flip, Kyle Tucker's right there now too. 5K spread, can't beat that. 4.5K, you're gonna make about a K. You can make a K flipping a guy and do it all day. But that's where we are with the live series. Oh, one more thing. This is really important regarding the live series roster updates. I will probably do a separate video on this as well if you do double watch. Yeah, I'm sorry, but just to kind of get the message across, kind of important is that these live series, they're typically what we see happen. First roster update, people go down and people overreact. They buy. The prices jack up. Second roster update, kind of, you still see it a little bit. But the more and more people get used to seeing the updates, the more and more, you start to see people front run it. Right now, people are like, wow, I would have never thought Aaron Judge could jump up 100K. So next time, they're looking at, Ketel Marte. We'll use Ketel Marte. They, let me buy 6 of these guys in advance. The thing is, everybody's doing that now. So come Friday, instead of everybody buying them, they're all trying to sell them. So the price typically starts to go down or it stays the same. You don't see as much movement. So just keep in mind that when you're investing in the big ticket guys, be careful. You make sure you're getting ahead early, because if you wait too late to start buying those guys, typically come Friday, the price goes down. Again, unless you have the exception of the early surprise. But I mean, we even seen it last year. Aaron Judge jumped to the top and he was still 100K, 120K, or whatever it was. He didn't go up much. So keep that in mind. Looking at, again, going down the list, I still, if you guys have been following along, jumped into these 20th anniversary cards, or ended up being a great investment there. He was getting them from 15 to 18K. Even said, hey, 20, it's not too bad there. We sold Joe Mauer too early for about 33K. They did drop everything. That was the thing about that, the live series things. Everything went up. People, people were holding on to investments. They can now sell them. Got a lot more stubs being released there. But you see it start to balance out once again after that, because nothing else really happened. Other than a lot of people kind of made a lot of coins off of guys going diamond and have some stubs to spend up. Other than that, there wasn't a lot. We didn't see a stub sale come out. We're seeing, you get the double XP, you get the new XP event, you get the new spotlight event coming out next week. Stuff that's going to continuously generate coins and packs. It's just once you get better cards, you got more, stubs being spread out a little bit more. But, we love that. We love this area here. I still think, again, as long as they're not coming out with anything fancy for these, I still think they turned up a little bit. They might not skyrocket, but I still think it's a good, if you have some extra money to layer on. I mean, we're still holding on to a couple of these guys. We sold a few of them as well. We was trying to get greedy with this Clayton Kershaw earlier. He was like 38K. It was like 3 away from 44. I was like, let's list them there. Let's list them, see what happens. Nothing came about of it though. You have tops now. Tops now I'm still kind of indifferent on until we have them need to be used for particular things, particular in collections. I do think we could see them take up a little bit because we have the spotlight program coming out here, and I think we could see people have a reason to do, I believe it's a optional spotlight pack collection, right? You have the optional collection where these guys are on the marketplace. You collect these guys, so that'll help them dry up a little bit as long as they're not in packs. I think that's a good idea there to kind of look in that direction. Still being pulled, but again, you can't pull every single one of them. So they're not a terrible thing to kind of dip a little bit of stubs into. I wouldn't invest heavily. Maybe if you got a lot, you're rocking 500K. If you want to put 50, 60K towards those players, I don't think it's a bad idea. Of course, hindsight's 2020 when we say be careful, balance it out, because it's like, hey, if you would have, we was big on the 20th anniversary, was big on the spotlight. Well, if you would have dumped all them coins on the spotlight players, you're looking very, very good right now. This one, kind of the same story. We're going to use these spotlight players for the collection. They're going to need all 8 of them. You're going to have people trying to, garner whatever they can, get the programs done as quick as possible, buy these players up off the marketplace, whatever, to get that program done. And as long as there's and this is what'll be tricky, is when you see the next flash sale, there's a great chance the next flash sale is guaranteed spotlight players in it. That'll drop the price, give you a chance to get them, and then once again sell them. But typically, they hold the value. We're getting a little stretch, at the 40 to 60K range. But we have seen these tops now. We have seen these spotlight guys in the past get up to 40K, get up to 50K, especially some of the earliest ones. The earliest ones typically the most, because, well, I guess they've just been out the longest. I was like, I ain't got a lot of logic behind that one. A lot of stuff you can explain. Typically, those guys, maybe it's because a lot of people will quickly put them in sets. They'll quickly, do whatever with them because they're not worth as much. Throw them away at the beginning, and then down the road, they're just not being re-released. Can be a part of it. Starting to see some new threads guys bounce around. I'm just not a fan. There's just too many. Every XP path gives you a guaranteed pack or a chance of one of these packs. Every conquest, random one. Of course, the more and more different choice packs that come out that are random, the less of these that'll get pulled. So there is that to look forward to. I personally I'm just not the biggest on them. I just don't see as much profit potential as some of the other things, because as long as they're in packs, they're in packs. That's a difficult thing to be, something to be mindful of. Still do like, again, if they're studs, of course, they're a high sought out player. I still like looking at the chase pack players, buying them afterwards. Randy Johnson took a pretty big hit on us. I told myself I was going to sell him at like 190. I can't do it. You play with him online, he's just so nasty. And I think, you know, everybody knows it. You got to keep him for a while until you start seeing, and this will be the thing. Again, you'll notice it. You start to see other stud, stellar pitchers kind of hit the marketplace. Thought John Gibson could have been that guy. It's not turning out to be. That's Josh Gibson. Not John Bob Gibson. Bob Gibbs. I can't even speak. Would have been Bob Gibson being that guy. He didn't come with 102 this season, but seeing somebody else that throws 102, hard to hit. Probably a left-hander. Those guys are coming across the board. Maybe a slow Randy Johnson down a little bit. But for now, we're gonna hold on to Randy. If he hits 260. If he hit, he's 500K, he got him for 500K, but you know, it just depends how much you're planning on playing as well. You know, I just look at it as a guy that you're not going to see his price go down too much until he gets another card, until you see some more 93, 94 pitchers out there that's as rare as him. But that pretty much, I believe that wraps up what we have to talk about today. We are past the messing with the, you can still do it if you will, or past the kind of messing with the equipment and the sponsorship. I mean, there's still Stubs being made. It's such a slow flip, especially later in the year when people already have their stuff in franchise mode. I don't really mess with it as much. A little bit more difficult there. It's a great time now to definitely consider looking at your gold players that you want to invest in, especially if they're guys that have been hitting better and you know they're trending up. You don't want to wait until the last week their price goes up too much. If you believe in a guy and you really think he's going diamond, that's kind of how you have to play the live series upgrade ones. Sometimes, yeah, sure, you can get into it, but the thing is, when you wait till the end, till the prediction videos come out and everything, it's like a lot of those guys, all right, people already know, okay, he's been hot the last 2 weeks, and if you don't, you know, by then there's a little bit less. Sometimes there's some meat on the bone, but you really got to catch them early. I don't know why Hunter Green is not diamond still. Prime example. I'm a Reds fan. I could be biased. I could be a lot biased. Look at that. What was he doing? Probably, what was he doing at 1,500? No business. There's no business being gold now. The dude's been one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball for the last year and a half. Nobody's got the velocity he's got that's a starter, but for some reason he still doesn't have the 102 quirk. And he still doesn't have 99 velocity. Another 11K performance today, another dominant performance today. All signs point to Hunter Green being a diamond, and at 2,100, he might be one of those guys you just want to pour a whole lot of money into. But, you know, guys like that, you got to believe in them. And that's what I'm saying. I'm convinced, I'm convicted that it is a Hunter Green show. Oscar Hernandez on the other side, you know, 84. I think he gets hot and gets cold, and I could, you know, mess everything up. So keep that in mind when you're doing the golds. Definitely great investments if you can still get them for 2K or less. Knowing, let's do the 84s. Knowing, you know, we can see a +2 and a good upgrade there. Nonetheless, though, that's going to wrap things up for this video. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.